Hey, what's up? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. If you're new, I like to react to video game music from games I've never played. I myself am a musician. I play guitar. And today I'm going to be doing a Patreon request, a Platinum Trophy supporter, Jackie. This is Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. And I think the song is called Athena Cykes or Courtroom Revolutionnaire. There's a lot of titles here. I'm sure I'll figure it out, but this is now my third time checking out Ace Attorney in a rather short window, so without further ado, let's get into more of the series that kind of confuses me a little bit. Confusing in a good way, by the way. But one thing I noticed that they have a fascination with pointing. Here we go. I know it's really early, but I needed this. Today was a hectic day, and this is like nice calm to it. But we'll see. I like how the guitar is there for ambience, but it's kind of in the background. The sound of the keyboards is so mystical. It sounds like a It sounds like a theme to a TV show. Like credits rolling and like starring blah blah blah. Or a montage. Dun, da, 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 da. So when I said confusing earlier, what I mean by that is like, I've explained it before in some other Ace Attorney videos I've done, and it's just I don't know at what point these things play, since I still have yet to see footage or any sort of pictures of this game besides these people pointing. You know, I just have to take a shot in the dark. I mean, does this game take place solely in like a courtroom? Or is there walking? Is there attacks? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean by confusing. I do not know the setting. Because the music is just kind of broad as hell. where it can be kind of anything. It can be a nighttime scene, it can be a walk in the park, it can be, I don't know. It's just kind of all over the place. But that's cool though. And that's the power of funk. Funk has that kind of abilities. It kind of doesn't really have a setting. But I can't place that anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what is Ace Attorney, and clearly the series has to do with, you know, the law and suits and stuff, so even just trying to figure out the game is confusing on its own, but the music is good. So my first impression of Ace Attorney is literally, well, first was the memes of just the point, objection, and now technically my second impression is the music, and the music delivers, because I don't know, it's just music at the end of the day, right? Like, it's just, whether that's VGM or not, it's just a swingy, cool, jazzy funk feel. But I just wish I can place it. But that's really has nothing to do with the music at all. It's just more of a me problem. Like, where does that go? I'm genuinely curious. It kind of reminds me of like 90s Capcom. You know, Capcom games from the 90s had just like a very distinctive sound of like splash screens, character select screens, menus. They just kind of had this thing about them, and that's kind of one of the reasons why they were so popular in the arcade, is because you would walk by and, you know, it's just the noisy coins and kids, and then you would hear like cool music, and that usually came from like Capcom machines, at least in my opinion. And this kind of reminded me of that, so I got a little nostalgic. I felt like I was walking through like a mall, and yeah, I remember arcades. So you guys probably don't even know what arcades are, but it reminded me of that. And just kind of a side note is this requester also requested some Persona stuff, and I was going to initially say that, but I didn't want to like generalize it. But I was like, this kind of sounds like something that could be in Persona, but instead I'm gonna take that and turn it into, I could see how this same requester likes both, because they're kind of in that little realm of experimentation and funk and groove, and just kind of makes you want to dance. A lot of BGM doesn't really stick with danceable music, I guess. Well, I mean, it's kind of all over the place, but I think most of it is for like an atmosphere, a mood, or maybe they're trying to hype you up. But then there's games like this where I mean, I guess they hype you up in its own way, but it's more about just like actually grooving and just feeling like good. And there's not a lot, and Persona is definitely one of those, for sure. And now Ace Attorney is another one of those. You know, for example, think of like the contrast between Nier Automata, which makes you want to cry your eyes out, to this, you know, big opposite side of the spectrum. But yeah, I'm curious. That's why I'm curious. I'm like, what else can the series do? Does it actually have that broad appeal? Does music ever go up and down? Does it, you know what I mean? Does it cover all moods, or is it all just like this kind of genre of? I guess it's almost a genre of muzak, which for those that don't know, muzak is like background, like retail shopping center music, like stuff you would hear in menus and coffee shops, stuff like that, just kind of there just to bring the mood up. And I don't know, it's great though. I'm not saying it's bad. It just makes me curious. I'm like, what is going on in this lawyer type game? Like, so many questions. But the only question I don't have is the music good? Because I already know the answer to that. And resounding yes. I went from never hearing Ace Attorney ever in my life to hearing it 3 times in the past 2 weeks. So I've developed a little bit of a understanding. I know it's nowhere near the catalog, but I don't even know how many games there are. But you know, I got a feel, and the feel is I can't wait for more. Because typically I hear a song from a game and then I end up liking it, and then I can't hear it for X amount of time. But this time I've heard 3, you know, pretty much 3 bangers back to back in the past 2 weeks, which for me is like back to back, and it's a short window for me. And it's making an impression. It's having a before it was just Persona on this channel that had that distinctive flavor to it. Now a new challenger arises, a new contender, right? Speaking of arcade. here comes a new challenger. It's like that. I feel that. It's really flavorful though. It's really cool, and I can kind of see why people like the series so much. Besides whatever it entails, but the music, it's one of those like talking pieces. You know, like basically if you know, you know. So when you talk about Ace Attorney, I think the conversation always gears into like, oh, what about this song? And they're like, yeah, I feel that. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like that's like it's almost expected to talk about the music. If you talk about Ace Attorney, they're just like this. So that's my opinion, and I like it. I like it. I like this stuff. I like to feel like I need to move. I like to feel different things, right? I sit here, I listen to music all day, and you know, I like to have that emotional roller coaster shift. I like to feel, I like to feel whatever. So for now, I just want to know what else comes with Ace Attorney. I want to see how broad it is, but regardless, the composers, whoever they are, it just made me feel very nostalgic and very like pretty much in a good mood. So I like it. A lot of questions, but I like it. Please tell me your experience with the Ace Attorney and the other songs. I'm sure you're gonna tell me which song is your favorite. And yeah, just let me know the general vibe of this game, because by the time I upload this, I'll probably Google like a couple of images. I don't like to give myself too much information, but you know, my curiosity is just like, what is that? So, anywho, thank you, Jackie, for that request. If you would like to do the same, you can request to me on Patreon or PayPal. Those are guaranteed ways that I check out your song, your BGM song, I should say. But they're not necessary. They just, like I said, guarantee that I will do it. There is a big wait list. You can see all these names here. And, you know, if you want to expedite that and get ahead of the line, there is a way. That is the Platinum Trophy tier, which Jackie is a part of. There is more info about that in my Patreon. And a shout out to her, the BRM, Zen Reacts, and Fly for also being Platinum supporters. I only have a limited amount of slots, so I don't do that to everyone. It's just first come, first serve basis. And that's it. If you were curious, by the way, the average wait time is pushing up to 5 months. So yeah, there's not a lot of VGM reactors, which is kind of a shame because you know what? I have a lot of songs that I want to share with you guys, but I already know them. So when you guys make a channel, which apparently I've already influenced a couple, and that's great. But when you guys get going, let me know so I can start requesting stuff, because people need to hear the music that I got. Anyways, I'm sidetracking. My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. Thank you for being here. Until next time, everybody, take it easy.